A major grading company has just changed their grading scale. What chaos will this cause for the cards you already have graded? We're going to talk about it next on Cards on the Table. Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode of Cards on the Table, our fast-paced talk show where the topics come from you, the audience, and we are going to have a lively discussion about some of them today. I'm joined, as always, by T-pott, head of our products here at Sports Card Investor. Welcome.
Thank you, Geoff.
And our content specialist. You guys see him a lot on social. Hammer, welcome back to the show, sir.
Always good to be back.
Hammer is a massive baseball fan, and that's going to tie in well to some of the topics we're going to talk about. Happy opening day, everybody. But before we get to that, we got to talk about this news when it comes to grading companies, because CSG has just changed their grading scale. Can you imagine a company that already has thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of graded slabs out there in the world deciding to change their grading scale, and what that might mean for everybody who already has those slabs in their possession? But that's exactly what's happened. So what CSG has done, they currently, the 9.5 grade is what CSG considers to be their gem mint grade, much like how BGS grades. And the 10 is a very difficult, lofty, kind of impossible to get grade, much like how BGS operates. Well, CSG has decided now that they are going to make the 10 their gem mint grade. So 10s are going to be easier to achieve. Previously, the best of the 9.5s, they're now going to be given a 10 grade. Then they're going to have a second 10 grade, their perfect 10, which is for the truly exceptional 10s, essentially what used to be one of their 10s before. Now, personally, I like this new grading scale better. This is actually now kind of mimicking SGC's grading scale. However, it's confusing for all the people out there who already have their cards slabbed. T-pott, what does this all mean?
Well, this was a twofold announcement, right? New label, same slab. There was that debate between you and Doug about CSG labels and slabs, and we like the slab, but we don't like the label. They're updating the label. I don't love it, but it looks
better.
It looks fairly,
definitely better.
It's unoffensive, right? It'll look pretty neutral on a lot of cards. And then they changed the grading scale. And here's the thing. In a vacuum, you want to think that your card is getting the most accurate, down to the nitty-gritty grade possible. The reality is that these graders are holding your card for like 30 seconds, and then they're on to the next card. It is a fast grade. It's highly subjective. And in that case, if you're sending cards, you want them to lean toward giving you a better grade and not giving you a worse grade. And what I was hearing from person after person, I never sent anything to CSG yet, was just a bloodbath. You send in 100 cards and they're getting back like literally 25 8s, 8 5s, 9s, and maybe some 9 5s and like 3 10s. And they're just like, what am I supposed to do with this? The resale value on a CSG 10 wasn't even PSA 10, and it was like 5 times harder to get a CSG 10. So the move is really, really smart in my opinion. They listened to the collector, they listened to their audience, and they were probably losing a lot of business in my opinion. The other smart thing that they did, just related to the slab, is that they did just redesign the label to fit within the new slab, and visually they made some subtle changes so it doesn't look like that label is as big as it used to, but it is the same size. So all around, I think just really smart on their part.
Well, and so I agree. I will commend CSG for listening to the hobby, because there was definitely a complaint that their grades were too tough and that their grading scale, I mean, I think everybody has seen the success at PSA from a grading scale standpoint, where people want a 10. People want a 10. People want a perfect 10. I prefer a 10 over a 9.5, even if at the end of the day they mean the same thing. So I'm glad they listened, but man, this has got to cause some chaos for people who already have CSG slabs.
Totally. And to be honest with you, for me, I think it was not maybe a little too late. This is something that they maybe could have got ahead of, before PSA and BGS started to come out with their more affordable submissions. So for me, I think it just causes some further confusion, which might have people just step away now and just go back to those household names. But if you're a CSG collector, you have to be happy that they're going to the SGC route and in terms of how their grading is going. So I'm happy for those individuals that collect this, but I do think it was something that they could have done sooner, because if they do decide to change something again down the road, then it's like, okay, now we're changing something again. So it could just cause further confusion among a hobby that already has a lot going on.
The hobby does have a lot going on. And by the way, if you have CSG slabs that are 9.5 graded, you do have the opportunity to send those back in and get them evaluated for being switched to a 10. Now, they aren't apparently automatically going to switch 9.5s to 10s. What they are going to do, because they're going to keep a 9.5 grade as well, but what they are going to do is they're going to take the best of the 9.5s and they're going to regrade those as a 10, a Gem Mint 10. So if you want your card evaluated, apparently it's a $5 fee, so they're charging a much reduced fee to do this. So if you are a holder of CSG slabs, check their website. That definitely is something to consider. We are, by the way, offering CSG submissions through our Sports Card Investor bulk grading submission service. I think people will probably be more apt to use them now with the new grading scale and the new holders and the new labels. We'll see. New labels, I should say. And if you're interested in bulk submitting to CSG, best way to do it is to go to sportscardinvestor.com, click grading in the main menu bar. All right, guys, let's get to our next topic. This one is very timely because it is opening day. Hammer, I know this is something you are pumped up for, hoping your Cardinals maybe have a little bit of a breakthrough this year. There's a lot of baseball card investors who are excited about the various prospects. We've talked before about how this seems to be kind of a real rich time in baseball's history where you have a lot of young up-and-coming stars. Not only just the prospects who have things to be proven, things left to prove, but you've got a lot of actually pretty established stars, but who are 25, 26 or under. So they've got big careers ahead of them. Of those types of players, Hammer, who are you most excited about this year? Who do you think is someone who, from a baseball card investing standpoint, you think has a lot of potential?
Yeah, so my guy is going to be Vlad Guerrero Jr. I really see him as the next top two guy within the baseball card hobby. I mean, this guy had an unbelievable season last year, almost hit the Triple Crown. If it wasn't for Ohtani, he already would have won the MVP in my opinion. I mean, going into this year, he's already favored to have the most home runs and RBIs in the league. And from a team standpoint, the Blue Jays are favored to win the AL. So, you want a guy that's going to be playing when it matters most. And at such a young age, he's lost weight in the offseason. So I really think his prices are going to elevate right now. He's, under guys like Ohtani and Acuna for some of his most popular rookies. But I really think he's going to take the next step up this year from a hobby standpoint and be looked at like Trout and Soto.
By the way, how good is that division? I mean, that's impressive. The Blue Jays are favored to win that division because the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Rays. I mean, that is a murderer's row in that division. Maybe we won't count the Orioles, but outside of them, that's a really incredible division. I mean, it really is. It's impressive. What's interesting about Vlad Guerrero Jr. Unfortunately, the sports card market last year, we saw prices decline. Starting around the beginning of kind of late spring, beginning of the summer, which by the way was right around when the baseball season started, and we saw prices slide through the summer into the fall. Because of that, you had this crazy phenomenon where Vlad Guerrero Jr.'s cards were actually slightly less expensive on the day the season ended than the day the season started, despite the fact that he almost won the Triple Crown. That's insanity. I'm with you on Vlad. I mean, how amazing is he to almost win the Triple Crown at such a young age? I think he's got a real bright career ahead of him. I love that. How about you, T-pott?
Yeah, I've got a list of guys. The first one, and I love the Vladdy pick. It's kind of a no-brainer. He had a great season not to win an MVP. And I would say, like, the guy that I'm the biggest on is Juan Soto. He has the best plate discipline for a guy his age you've ever seen. He's only 23 years old, undisputed confidence going back to that World Series run. And if you look last year, he led the MLB with 145 walks and just 93 strikeouts. So he has, a 1.5 to 1 ratio on walks to strikeouts. And he draws a walk about 22% of his plate appearances, which is why he was good for a .465 on base percentage. He's getting on base almost half of the time.
That's incredible.
He's got power. He doesn't chase. He'll be down 0-2 and he doesn't chase. He's just incredible at the plate. So I do think Soto's a guy to watch this year. Now Washington is probably going to struggle, but that didn't really impact him last year when he started to tear it up after the All-Star game. The other guys, quickly, I would say Bo Bichette, kind of the opposite of Soto in that he loves to swing and he loves to put the ball in play. He doesn't strike out a ton, but he did lead major leagues last year with 191 hits. He had a 5.9 WAR, and that Toronto lineup is going to be brutal again. Matt Olson, I think this trade, or rather the exchange of kind of letting Freeman go and getting Olson, is really going to work out in their favor. He's a guy who has flown under the radar big time in Oakland. He's a 35 to 40 home run guy, and he has a chance this year for sure to lead the league in RBIs. Other guys, keep an eye on Tatis coming back from the injury. Byron Buxton, if he can stay healthy, is an absolute incredible athlete. And then let's talk about the prospects, Julio Rodriguez, Bobby Witt Jr., and don't forget about my Tigers, Riley Green, who's injured, and Spencer Torkelson. So a ton of guys. This is going to be really exciting.
It's going to be a fun baseball season. Lots of guys. It's going to be fun to watch the price movements of all of these guys throughout the course of this season. Of course, do your own research. We don't give picks. These are guys who we have our eyes on, but we want you to do your own research and figure out who you want to invest in, and then use our app, tune into our show so we can show you how their cards are doing throughout the course of the year. Personally, we're going to have Acuna back here in Atlanta.
Right.
I'm excited. He's kind of been forgotten about. He, of course, was not part of the Braves' late season rally last year. He went out with the injury. Braves go on and win the World Series without him. But he's one heck of a player. People forget that this guy almost made it to 40-40. 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. He would have been the youngest guy ever to do that in history. Back in the 2019 season, he came that close to doing it. He's back healthy this year. Could he have a shot at that? He might be the guy who surprisingly is under the radar now compared to all of the guys you just mentioned, yet he's on one of the best teams in baseball.
And best believe he has a chip on his shoulder knowing that he was not a part of that World Series team, and he wants to come back with a vengeance to prove, hey, we can do this with me in the lineup.
I'm excited for Acuna. We'll see what this season brings. And guys, track all of the prices in our free Sports Card Investor app. Guys, get that Sports Card Investor app for free in the App Store by searching Sports Card Investor. Okay, now it's time for our mailbag where these topics come from your YouTube comments. So leave a comment right now as to what topics you want us to talk about next week. The first topic is regarding Panini points. Thoughts on Panini points? Is it fair to call Panini points a hit? And you know what I'm talking about, guys. You rip open a pack of Prism or Optic or any of the other Panini products, and you're hoping for that autograph or you're hoping for that memorabilia card, and instead you find one of these Panini rewards cards, Panini points cards, that gives you a certain number of points to go spend on Panini's website. Whenever I hit one of those, it's always followed by a sigh. But what do you think, T-pott? How do Panini points resonate with you?
I don't like Panini points. And I don't even really understand how they work in terms of like the products and how many points you get. I've seen in huge numbers. Like, I don't know what their highest number is. I feel like a couple of years ago, I remember 75,000 points coming out of a Donruss box, which was like, that doesn't make sense to me. Whereas you can open Crown Royale and get like 250. The redemption rewards are extremely expensive in terms of the points.
Yeah.
People are selling these points for crazy amounts of money on eBay. I don't really get it. Every time I think about Panini points, I think back to that video when you and Reeves were opening Prism Draft, 2019 Prism Draft.
2019 Prism Draft.
And you literally
picks.
were like, and Panini points. Here's some more Panini points. Panini points, and Reeves was just like putting his face on the table.
was,
You
like,
did hit that big Zion, but it was all Panini
Well,
points.
no, actually, that was Contenders Draft
Okay,
picks from
yeah,
2019.
okay, yeah.
So we didn't even hit a Zion.
Oh,
In
geez.
fact, they
Yeah,
put Panini
yeah.
points in almost every single box in lieu of the autograph.
That's right, that's
in
what
lieu
it
of the
was,
autograph, because
Contenders.
you were supposed to get one. It was Contenders Draft picks 2019 basketball. You were supposed to get blaster boxes. You're supposed to get one autograph per.
Yeah.
And every single box, it seemed like we got Panini points and never got an autograph. So they're used in lieu of one of those cards. Now, to your point about the point values, I had always assumed that the higher point value of the card meant that you missed a really big hit card. Like you were supposed to, if it was like the 75,000 in Adonis, I would have assumed that was you were supposed to get a Giannis 1-of-1 autograph. But since you didn't, here's 75,000 Panini points instead. But whether that's true or whether it's just random, I don't know. Do you know?
No. I think honestly it's just random. I don't think that there is really anything behind that. I mean, I haven't even seen somebody pull 7,500 points. So I do think it's random, which just causes further confusion on if it has to do based on the higher end product or if it's a lower end product. But I mean, like you said, it is very confusing. I think there's you have sparkle packs that you can use to
that is one smart thing they did do. That's the one thing in the reward store that it seems like everybody wants.
Which I do like, but some of the prices on that stuff is really expensive. And for me, some people have trouble getting popular products as it is. I mean, if they could do something where you could go out and get, I don't know, WWE Prism Wrestling, maybe you could get it, in advance if you buy it through the Panini points. When I first saw Panini points, that's what I was hoping to see, but it just seems like there's a lot of hoops that you have to jump through.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, conceptually, I think it's a fine idea. They just need more compelling things in their store.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, the store's full of cards that aren't particularly appealing to a lot of people.
Exactly.
When they do the white sparkle packs, there's a huge rush for those. If they would do more stuff like that throughout the year, just put blasters of the new wrestling product in there, or that kind of that you can get for a reasonable number of points. People would actually then it would change their opinion about Panini points.
Yeah.
But for the moment, we're kind of a thumbs down here at Sports Card Investor, it seems.
Last thing, I do look forward, though, to seeing what Fanatics might do down the road and kind of studying this because, they have merchandise, memorabilia, autographs. If you could do something where you could pull out a gift card to potentially buy a jersey or to buy a piece of memorabilia or to buy a card, I think that opens up a lot of opportunities for when Fanatics does come in and sort of shake things up.
That's interesting.
I like it.
I like that too. Fanatics memorabilia, Fanatics points. I like it. All right. Hey, if you guys know how Panini Points works, let us know in the YouTube comments. You might be helpful to us. We appreciate that. Okay, guys, second mailbag question from the audience. Are we excited about PSA's new vaulting service? And by the way, everybody's got a vault. You got a vault, you got a vault, you got a vault. Everybody's got a vault. I mean, eBay, you can't apparently can't operate in the card business anymore without a vault. We need a vault. We got to have a vault here just to stay relevant in the card world. I mean, seriously. PSA's got a vault, PWCC's got a vault, eBay's got a vault, Golden's got a vault, Alt has got a vault, and then you've got all these fractional companies which put stuff in their vaults and fractionalize. It just is lots of vaults. So with all that said, are we excited? PSA's now is interesting. It's connected to Golden, so which makes sense. Collectors owns PSA and owns Golden. Hammer, are we excited about PSA's vault?
For the most part, I would say no. I think it's more for a niche audience. I think it's for a high-end collector base that deals with selling on specifically Golden. I think if there was other platforms where you could sell on, something like an eBay, I think would help bring in more people to be enthusiastic about it. But I think it's a good thing for a very niche audience that loves PSA and that sells through Golden.
Well, and the one thing, of course, PSA's got going for it for sure is there's so many cards that flow through their grading service. So if you are shipping cards to PSA and you know that your intention is to resell those cards, then, perhaps you just put those cards straight in the vault and then you sell them on Golden. I mean, I think that's what they're hoping for. I know Golden is building out their website technology and they're trying to go more full-blown marketplace in the future, not just, competing with not just having their monthly auctions, but they're trying to do more type of selling in the future, much like how PWCC has done. I'm a big believer in vaults. I use PWCC's vault heavily. I've talked about it on the show before. I will probably use eBay's vault heavily when eBay's vault comes online. Will I use PSA's vault? I actually have stuff in Golden's vault. So I already have a lot of stuff in Golden's vault too. So I'm actually probably the consumer for this type of thing. But it's a lot of vaults. Will I use PSA's? I don't know. I've already got accounts at 3 other vaults. Are you going to use PSA's vault? What do you think of this?
I don't think I'll use it as much. Probably not at all. Maybe. And I see it as, again, like Hammer said, more niche. Like if you have higher end cards that you're going to want to have go to auction, there's 2 reasons why you use a vault. One is for that quick turnaround to get something listed and sold quickly. The other is for the security of it, right? If you don't want to have the risk of having high-end assets in your home with a break-in and potentially, who knows what could happen, right? I hear a lot of people say that. They feel very safe and protected in a vault. So if that's the case, maybe, and then it's probably just going to come down to evaluating which one you feel the best about, or maybe it's a product of convenience. But I think the one I'll use the most is eBay, just because that prospect of buying and selling, much like we had before with the PWCC to eBay type listing scenario, is the most appealing to me. It sounds like to me that you need to get more into a committed vault relationship. You're just bouncing from vault to vault.
Lots of vaults.
So, but
Ship stuff from one vault to the other vault.
Yeah, it's just at this point, it's just like you see the Oprah meme floating around, like everybody gets a car, you get a vault, you get a vault, and I don't know that I'll use PSAs, but good for them.
Well, I mean, there's advantages. There's certain things I like to sell on Golden, and therefore, I've got Golden's vault. There's certain things I like to sell on PWCC, so I like their vault.
So we just need to get a vault. We just need to get a vault for all the vaults.
A vault for all the vaults.
And then I think then, from a collector buying and selling, you've got everything.
Now, is PSA
you've got your marketplaces.
Gearing up to like have their own marketplace or have it branded with Golden through their website? You got to wonder that too at some point.
I don't know. I assume, I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, PSA bought Golden, so they're thinking, or collectors bought both, I guess you would technically say, right?
Correct.
So I'm sure there's
combined vaults
all coming together. Who knows? What do you guys think? Are you guys using any of these vaults? Are you guys excited about these vaults? Let us know in the comments below, and let us know what you want us to cover in the next episode as well. We are excited to discuss all these topics, and we appreciate bringing you this show every week. And hey guys, check out the Sports Card Investor app in the App Store. Download the Sports Card Investor app if you haven't already, and if you have, get it ready for tons of baseball card changes. Prices are going to be going up and down every single day. So open that app up every morning and see what cards are trending. Hey guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and we will see you in a couple of days with our next episode. Take care, everybody.
Stay vault again.